if you've got your hands on a cushion, softens the wrists a little. You can also use your fists, and you can put your knuckles onto the floor rather than your hands. But top tip, if your wrists do ache, is to put the pressure around this part of the hand, and you can see, so this part of the hand and into the fingertips rather than that part, because that's what will make the wrist ache. Try to take all the emphasis out of the wrist if you can. So pressing through the fingertips and having your knees hip distance apart and your arms are shoulder distance apart. What we're going to do is move the spine. So this is a lovely spinal wave. So you're going to wave from the bottom all the way to the top in segments again, as if you're uncurling the chain, the links of the chain. So first of all, you're going to tuck under your buttocks. So tuck under the buttocks and do that pelvic tilt and squeeze the pelvic floor. Now pull the belly button up towards the back of the spine, and as you do, you'll begin to lift your back towards the ceiling. Then you roll your shoulders forwards without bending the arms. Let the neck drop and look back at the navel. So your whole spine should be in an N shape. I'd like you to breathe in, breathe out as you feel that lovely stretch through the spine. Then inhale. As you exhale, push the tailbone away. So that means push the buttocks back towards the wall. Roll through the spine bone by bone, and then bring the head to look forwards. Now I like to roll the shoulders back and down here and push the sternum forwards, which is the chest, so push the chest forward slightly and lift the head so you can feel some strength and tension in your back. Lovely, so you're tightening through the back muscles and helping to support your spine. There's just a natural curve in the spine. You're not dipping, pushing, emphasising that bottom upwards. You're just having a natural curve in the spine here. Now breathe in. As you breathe out, again you're tucking under the tailbone, you squeeze that pelvic floor, you roll through the spine bone by bone, lift the back to the ceiling, then drop the head and look back at the navel and feel that lovely stretch in the cat posture, or angry cat posture, this one I think. And then breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to do this flow now, so we're going to push that buttocks away towards the wall, roll through the spine bone by bone, look forwards and push the sternum forwards. At the same time, you're bringing the shoulders back and down and feeling the strength in the back. Natural curve in the spine as you look forwards. We'll do that one more time. We breathe in. As we breathe out, we tuck under our buttocks, we gently squeeze the pelvic floor, roll through the spine bone by bone. Relax the head to look back behind you and lengthen through the neck as you look back at the navel. Wonderful. Inhale now. As you exhale, push the tailbone away, bone by bone. But this time you're going to come into a flat back, and I'm going to teach you the next posture, which is the child posture, the extended child posture. What you're going to do here is you're going to flow your buttocks back towards the heels and then stretch the arms forward so you can feel a stretch through your back. Now if it's comfortable for you, you're going to drop your head, your forehead onto the floor. If you're comfortable in that position, stay there. If this is uncomfortable, I'm going to show you some other adaptations. If, for instance, your feet are very uncomfortable when they're flat, what you can do is roll a blanket underneath the feet. So roll a blanket underneath the feet, or put a mat there or something, a cushion, so as it's more comfortable for the feet. Now, if you're particularly tight, especially in that lower back, what you can do is take a cushion, put underneath the bottom in the crook of the knees, and then you can sink yourself down in this position and then bring the body forwards. If, for instance, you can't go forwards and it's not comfortable to drop your head, again what you can do is you can use the cushion, another cushion if you need to, so you can use all the utilities, or if you've got a yoga block or something similar, any of those things you can put underneath the head and relax the head onto the block, and you feel that lovely stretch. And this is, child posture is predominantly used as a lovely relaxation posture, but it's a lovely stretch for your back. It's a lovely counter posture for many of the other postures that we do. And stretching forwards, if you really reach forwards with the arms, you'll feel that lovely stretch underneath the arms and into the shoulders. If you prefer a more relaxed stretch, you can just relax the arms. Lovely. And when you've got yourself, I'll give you a chance to get yourself in a position, because this is a tricky one for people that are tight. So I'm sitting talking to you, but I'd like you to be in the posture. So using the props, so I appreciate that you might need to go get blankets and props. You can always pause the video if you like and come back when you've got the props. And I'll demo just the second part of the child posture. So obviously I don't need the props, but feel free to use those props under the feet, the head or the buttocks, wherever you need to. But another choice of this would be to take the hands back by the feet, drop the head and relax into what we call full child posture. But again, if this is tight or too much for your neck, use your blanket, your cushion, your pillow, just to drop the head onto, or if you feel claustrophobic, head onto the cushion to make it more comfortable. And remember, try to make the adjustments that you need to for your feet, for your legs, for your back where required. So once you've had a couple of breaths in that posture, we'll begin to roll up now. So we're going to squeeze the pelvic floor muscles and the core and roll up through the spine. Then roll the shoulders a few times backwards. We're going more for a dynamic posture now, which is the downward dog posture. So if you've got a dog, you'll see your dog in this posture many times probably throughout the day. Usually when they've got out of bed, they'll always have this lovely downward dog posture. So again, you can adapt using a chair. I've got a chair with me today to demonstrate that in a second. So if you're tight in hamstrings, sometimes this is not particularly comfortable position for you, but we have some little tricks of the trade. So taking your hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and tuck under the toes. So I'm going to demo it first, so watch the demonstration before you join in. And what you're going to do again is squeeze the pelvic floor and lift the knees off the floor. That way you're going to strengthen through the core. You're going to take the coccyx as high as you can to the ceiling. You're on the toes at this position. Then you rock the body back so the head comes directly between the arms. So you're in this lovely tent-like shape, if you like. Now, if you're tight in hamstrings, you may well need to bend those knees. You will feel a lovely ankle and calf stretch. You can, what we call, walk the dog. So bend, alternate knees. Now, typically what you see is my body position there. So this is what I typically see because of tight hamstrings or calf muscles. But you may be flexible enough to push the heels down to the floor and just get that lovely stretching. Okay, so at any point, bring your body down to the floor and take yourself back into that lovely child's posture. Okay, if you need to, either here with the hands here, forwards with the hands forwards, and again head on a cushion or block if you need to. Now for those that's too much, okay, you can use a chair. So we've just got a chair here. If you're using a chair, I'd always ask you to have it on a non-slippy surface, because if it's on a slippy surface you might just do a little bit more yoga than you anticipated doing. So with a chair, you place your hands onto the chair, you'd step your feet away from you, and then again, same position, you'd take your head between your arms. You might be more comfortable with the legs apart rather than hip distance. I'll leave that to you, but you'll still get the same position here. Again, you might be tight in hamstrings, so your knees might be bent a little. You may need to walk the dog, pressing alternate heels down to the floor. You do what's comfortable for your body. And again, if it's too tall with a chair, you can perhaps use a lower sofa. I've done this before in my classes, so my back will be to you. I do apologise. And you can have exactly the same version on the sofa here. Okay, so if you want to, just give you a minute or two to just get any props that you need, or to get your breath back if you've gone into downward dog already. and you've held it for any length of time, and we're all joining downward dog together. So feel free to use whatever props that you need to. Maybe you might only need a block. Maybe you're tight but not too bad and you've got a block available, then use blocks or something to lift you up, but make sure it's safe, whatever you're using, or a stool or a little table. But again, watch it doesn't slip around, make sure you're safe. So what we're going to do then is all joining down the dog. So using the props if you need to, bring yourself hands onto the prop or the floor or a block. Tuck under the toes with the knees hip distance apart. Breathe in as you breathe out. Let's squeeze into the core muscles, to squeeze our belly muscles and pelvic floor, and then get the knees off the floor. Hover a little while, then take the coccyx as high as you can to the sky, right onto the tiptoes. Breathe in as you breathe out, then start to take the body backwards so the head comes directly between the arms and gently pushing down with the heels. Let's all walk the dog now, so bend alternate knees, pushing each heel in turn down to the floor. Now if this gets too much for you, just come out of it at any point, give yourself a rest. See if we can go right high onto the toes, now a bit of somatic yoga now. We're going to go right high onto the toes, so we're really tensing through the calf muscles, through the legs, through the glutes, buttocks. Then inhale as you exhale, just relax the muscles on the out breath. Relax and allow the heels to stretch towards the floor into your downward dog. We're slowly coming down out to this stretch now, so you're going to come onto the toes, drop back down onto the knees. Relax the toes and come back into your child or extended child, so that's hands forwards. Or if you prefer, if you've got shoulder issues, taking the hands back by the feet. I'm going to roll out of this, but I'd like you to stay in that position just for a few breaths. If this is too much or too restricting for your breath, then kneel as I am and just have a breath in a kneeling position. You do whatever's right for your body, but that counter posture, quite important for a counter posture when you do any strong stretches like downward dog. But well done for doing that, that was brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to sit down on the floor, and again I'm going to demonstrate rights and wrongs. So often, and I'll see this generally in my classes, so if you're really tight in your hamstrings, what you tend to find is people will sit like this. So you can see I'm inclined here, and you're using the tummy muscles to hold you upright into this stretch, and then you're struggling to get forwards into the stretch. Now, top tip would be to use a cushion. Now, I think if you use the end of a cushion, the triangle part of a cushion here, and you take that part underneath the buttocks, so bring yourself up, sit yourself down, and then rock yourself forwards into an upright position. If your cushions are quite squashy, then it might be, this one's quite a puffy one, it's quite a new one, but you might want to bend them over. Okay, I'll show you with a squashy one. And I've got one that's less padded. So making a triangle with a cushion and then sitting onto that cushion, then let your body rock forwards, and you'll see the lovely straight spine that's given me in an upright position and made it quite easy. Another thing you can do if you're particularly tight, and if you're really tight, I have some very, very tight hamstrings in my class, especially if they've done any sort of sports that's created that problem with the hamstrings. You can take a rolled up blanket underneath the knees there, and that makes it far more comfortable. So the position here, just adaptations that you can make if you need to get a little bit more comfortable with tight hamstrings. So I'll give you a minute just to get yourself sorted in that position. And what we're going to do now is a lovely forward bend. So I'm showing you sideways position here because I think it's visually better for you to see than see the soles of my feet. So what we're going to do with that upright spine, we're going to breathe in and imagine a wheel of energy is coming into the body. So you're going to take the hands out to the side of you, you're going to breathe in as you stretch the arms up tall, then breathe out and draw the hands down in front of you. Breathe in again as you lift the body. And then take the hands away from you and push away. Push the belly button forward first and then the chest. Then push the hands as far away as you can. You'll feel that stretch in the back, in the hamstrings. Now drop the arms down to the sides of the legs. So just let them fall wherever they are. And then relax the upper body. Now it might be that you only come to here and you're ready, feeling those legs, and you know, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Predominantly it's a back stretch, the forward fold, and then you get the glute and the hamstrings as a secondary stretch. As long as you can feel the body stretching and doing something for you, then that's what we're aiming for. But obviously we want the shoulders as relaxed as you can. As you exhale, we start to flow. So just hover the hands at the side of the legs as you uncurl the spine segmentally, so stack them one by one. Take the hands here at the belly, breathe in and lift again, so you lift in the spine. Take the hands away from you, so palms are facing the feet. Push the belly button forward first, so the spine stays nice and straight. Then the sternum flows forward. Push the arms as far away as you can, and then drop the arms down to the floor and drop the body forwards. And then segmentally again, so just from the bottom of the spine, you're stacking the spine one by one, letting the hands hover and flow to the sides of the legs. So do that one more time. So we inhale as we lengthen the body, stretch. Take the hands away. As we exhale, we hinge forwards, pushing that belly button, then the sternum falls the chest. Drop the hands and relax. And then roll up through the spine again, bone by bone. Take the hands out to the side now, lift the body up tall. Breathe in and take the hands together overhead. And then exhale as you drop the hands all the way down towards the heart, relaxing in the shoulders. Brilliant, well done. Give the legs a little shake. I'm going to swing myself round to face the camera again. And what we're going to do now is we're going to stretch through the hip flexors and the inner thighs. So top tip here is if you've got that body position, so that body position where you're rounded like this and holding on to the legs for dear life, I'd like you to sit on a cushion like I mentioned before. So just that diamond shape there, sitting onto the edge so as it throws the spine upright, and you don't have to do this to hang on to the legs. Now if it's uncomfortable for you to sit in this position because your joints ache or you're not able to open the legs too much, so you can, top tip here is you can bring the legs forward so you've got a looser diamond shape, or you can use your cushions again or a blanket underneath hips. Maybe you have one step hip, maybe not at all. So you know, if you've had any problems with hips, maybe you might want that little bit of support rather than let your legs just fly open and support themselves. Okay, so you do what's right for you. Okay, so it might be that you can't hold on to your feet, that makes your shoulders crunch forwards. If that's the case, just hold on to the ankles instead, okay? But have the body nice and upright. Now I want you to breathe in. As you breathe out, I want you to bring those legs down towards the floor. Let's do that again. So breathe in. As you breathe out, let the weight of the legs drop. Now what I'd like you to do is to keep the legs pressed downwards towards the floor, but lengthen the spine. So imagine somebody's got your head and they're pulling you towards the ceiling by that golden thread again. Okay, so sitting nice and tall, but relax the shoulders. I see lots of stiffness in shoulders in this, what we call the butterfly posture, and we like to relax those shoulders right away from the ears, but keep those legs pressed down. You might feel that gentle stretching through what we call the adductors inside the thighs, and maybe you can feel that stretch in the hip flexors. So now what we're going to do is take the belly button and push the belly button forwards so it keeps the back nice and straight. Now we're going to lead with the sternum, the chest here, and we're going to push that forward. We're going to bend the elbows. It might be that you're here anyway, so you can't actually physically get past the elbows, and that's fine. But if you can, bend the elbows forwards in front of the shins. Take that chest forwards. Now watch this. Don't pull like this. Don't strain. Don't take your elbows. See this a lot. Don't take your elbows like this. We don't want to do that. We don't force the movement. It's natural movement. It's far better for the body than forced movement. You don't want to work against your muscles being tense. We want them relaxed. They won't stretch any further if they're tense. They need to be relaxed to stretch. So just bearing that in mind, letting the legs, the weight of the legs, do their own job. Pushing forwards, but relax the forearms here. Relax the shoulders. And just bring the sternum forwards. Now try not to, I see this lots of competition between yourselves a lot of the times, where you're trying to desperately get your head to reach those toes. It's not much about that, it's more about how you're feeling in that lower body at the moment. So try to relax the upper body as much as you can. By all means, if your head aches by just having it forwards, then just relax it forwards, but don't strain it. Don't strain the shoulders, don't strain the forearms. Now I can feel, if you have, you're a lower back sufferer, let's just change my body position so you can see better again. So if you're a lower back sufferer, you will feel a beautiful opening for the back, for the pelvis. For me, that's beautiful. I love, absolutely adore this stretch. Yes, I can feel it in the groin. Breathe in. As you breathe out, just let the body relax a little bit deeper, but I can also feel it around the lower back. As long as you relax the shoulders, you will feel it in the body parts that you need to feel it, but if you start to strain the shoulders, it'll take it away from where you need it most. So just let the body relax as much as you can to feel that lovely stretch. Open up what we call the sacrum here. Lovely. And let the energy flow around the body. Breathe in, breathe out, and relax as much as you can. And just hold it there, but relax into the stretch. Every out breath, so every time you breathe out, I want you to just relax a little bit deeper. No forcing at all. The body will do its own job. Everybody's hips are set differently. So some of us have got shallow hip joints, others more pronounced. And it will make a difference as to whether your legs lie flat on the floor. Some people will be able to get their legs right the way down on the floor, others all the way up here. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. You're not in any competition here. The lovely thing about yoga is you just feel into the body. It's not competitive at all. And you're just really just competing with yourself, if you like. So you'll notice marginal differences. The more you do yoga, maybe the more movement you will be able to get through the body. But it doesn't mean to say that if you did yoga for 10 years, that your legs will go from here to flat on the floor. That might never happen. If you're not built that way, that's fine. Just accept who you are and what your limitations might be. And that's good. We're all different in all different parts of our body. So there's no competition and there's no need to feel bad because you can't touch your toes. It really does not matter at all. What matters is that you're giving yourself the best quality of life by doing these movements and getting the best out of your body, your temple, as I call it. Your body is your temple, just your shell that you walk around in, and everything inside really matters. So your thought processes, your emotional processes, and moving the energy flow in the body, such as these movements I've given you today, will help you to be a happier person without a shadow of a doubt. So do bear with me and keep with it. Okay, so enough of butterfly posture now, I think. So taking your hands by your knees and drawing your legs together. Wonderful. Stretch your legs out in front of you now and give them a little bit of a shake. I like to give the body a movement where it needs it. So after every posture, your body will tell you what you need to do. Okay, so feel free to just shuffle around and do what's needed. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to lie down on the floor. Lovely. And we're going to what we call bridge posture. So before you lie down, I want you to just look at the camera and watch what I'm doing in bridge posture. Bridge is beautiful posture, going from bridge to twists. We're going to roll ourselves down to the floor. Now, if you've got core strength, you'll be able to roll down slowly, bone by bone. But if you haven't, if that's not for you, I'll give you time to get down to the floor first of all, and it might be better that you come onto your side first and then roll over. So it depends on what your core strength is, or any health issues you may have. So lying on your back if it's comfortable. Now, not everybody's comfortable lying on the back. So just do what you can, and take your hands and relax them by the side of the body. Have your feet hip distance apart, and what I'd like you to do is push your waist into the floor. So you tip up your tailbone, what I call tip the tailbone, and if you push your hands under your waist, you shouldn't be able to get them underneath the waistline, so you're pressing into the floor. As you do this, squeeze the pelvic floor and feel that lovely pressure. I like this stretch. I like to feel the waist pressing down. You might even feel into the kidneys there as well. Then relax and release the spine. You're going to grow up a little bit taller if you can, but if you can't, just stay to that, what we call the pelvic tilt, and that's fine. But if you can, roll that tailbone up, push the waist into the floor, and then lift the waist off the floor. So you're just on these lower ribs here. And then you're using the core muscles here, what we call the rectus abdominis muscles, to push down into the floor to create some abdominal strength. But I want you to squeeze your buttocks as you do this. Squeeze your buttocks, which is your bum, and the back of the leg. So feel that strength. And then roll out of it bone by bone, as if you're giving yourself a little back stretch, okay, back massage. We'll do that again. If you can go a little bit higher, these are all stages. You must stay to the stage that's comfortable for you. So we breathe in, we engage the core, we squeeze the pelvic floor, we roll up through the spine, we lift the back, we lift the lower ribs, and just underneath the shoulders we are now. So we've got these top muscles here, these rectus abdominis muscles here, and they're pressing down into the floor. So you feel some strength through the body here, but also here in the back of the body. So pressing, squeezing into the glutes, the back of the hamstrings to hold the posture. We lengthen the spine as we roll slowly out of it, bone by bone. So stretching the spine, particularly that lower back, and then relax. Now we're going higher up, if you can, onto the shoulders. So you're going to squeeze the pelvic floor, you're going to rock the tailbone up towards you, we're going to push up towards the ceiling, rolling all the way up onto the shoulders if you can. Now watch you're not squashing your neck into your chest here, that there's a nice gap between the chin and the chest. You're lifting the hips, you're squeezing the buttocks, the pelvic floor as well, lifting into that stretch and holding that stretch. So just close the eyes gently, breathe in, breathe out, and just imagine the energy flow. Imagine there's a light right at the bottom of the spine, a beautiful light, and on the out breath, feel that light spreading through each of the vertebrae, all the way up towards the heart, then towards the throat. Lovely. Now roll down slowly. If you need to, you roll down when you need to. Always come out of the stretch. Don't feel like you have to stay there. Now let's tuck the knees into the chest. Well done, everybody. Tuck the knees into the chest. Give the knees a hug, just holding on to the shins, pulling in towards you to feel that lovely back stretch. Well done. And then drop the feet down to the floor. And we'll do that one more time, but this time we're just going all the way up into a roll. So we're going to tuck the tailbone underneath, squeeze the pelvic floor, roll yourself up bone by bone till your hips go up towards the ceiling or any of the levels beforehand. So you can bring it down a little bit lower and just do the pelvic tilt if you like, that's fine as well. So bringing yourself all the way up, breathing in, breathing out. Well done. And just hold that stretch. Now for those that want to add to this, you can use the arms as well. You can keep in your bridge posture here. Make sure the heels press to the floor and your shins are vertical, the knees are hip distance apart, not really wide like this. And if you start to sink, then bring yourself lower down, okay? Don't feel you have to press those hips high. Inhale now as you raise the arms above the head for a lovely long stretch. And then exhale as you draw the hands down by the sides of the body. We'll do that one more time. Inhale as we stretch the arms high, squeeze those glutes to hold that position, and then exhale as you lower the arms to the sides of the body. Then gently roll through the spine, bone by bone, and bring those knees again into the chest. Start to massage back into the floor. So you're circling your knees in an anti-clockwise direction just a few times. Now this is brilliant for digestion. So if you have trapped wind, this is a joke about wind problems in yoga, and that's because you're massaging the bowel and the digestive organs lots in yoga. So massaging the knees in this position does help. It's good for kids too. So massage in a clockwise direction to finish. The reason we do clockwise to finish is because that's the way of the gut. And this will ease any trapped wind or digestive issues with constipation and stuff like that. That's really good. But really nice for this, the purpose of today's posture here is to massage that back into the floor to get rid of any tension that may have built up in the back. Now we're going to pop the feet to the floor and do a gentle twist. Keep the feet hip distance apart, but we're taking the arms out to the side of the body. So they're shoulder height and the palms are just facing, facing down or up. To be honest, it doesn't really, whatever's comfortable. I think it's more comfortable having the palms facing up, but you can do either, it doesn't really matter. So walk the feet in towards the buttocks, so as you feel that waistline contact with the floor, gently squeeze the pelvic floor again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we're going to take the knees over to the left side. Now watch your legs don't hover in the air. Now if you need to, again, if it's too uncomfortable, use a cushion. So as you're relaxing the body, okay, so you're relaxing rather than straining, because it should be quite comfortable stretch and quite nice for the lower back. And then turn the head to look along the right arm. That's optional, you don't have to do that, you can just look up at the ceiling, that's fine. On every out breath, just let the body relax as much as you can. So you feel those knees relaxing. Feel that lovely twist, what it's doing for your body. You may feel this in the lower back. You could feel this in the hip flexors. Depends on where you're tightest in your body. Now to come out of this, you engage the core muscles. You draw the knees back to the centre. And then you take the knees over to the right side. Again, just letting the knees flop and using a cushion if you need to at any point. Turn the head towards the left arm. Breathing in, breathing out, relaxing the body. Now you might be tight across the shoulders and the pecs, okay, so if your chest is really tight,